Brahmacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Astachare Shakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
for being here for Bhagavata Sravana. So lovely to have you all today. And Prahlad really doesn't need any introduction because he speaks here regularly. We all love him, but I'm going to still introduce him briefly so we can mainly hear from him. He's very, very special soul who inspires us so deeply. He was born into this movement of Krishna consciousness and actually went to the Gurukul in Mayapur, which is it's actually the headquarters of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, in a very special place where Lord Chaitanya had his pastimes. And he grew up there, and at a very, very young age, he told me 12 years old, I believe, correct? 12 years old, he was chanting 16 rounds, and he wanted to take initiation from his spiritual master, Hridayananda Das Goswami. And as he continued to grow, the love for kirtan and japa continued to blossom deep within his heart. That love and faith just continued to deepen, and then he met Indra Swami, who was the Shiksha Guru for him. And he traveled with Indra Swami for many, many years as like his right-hand man, and personally serving him and doing kirtan with him. And recently we have the good fortune of him and his beautiful wife, Sri Gandharvika, who dressed the deities this morning, moving here to New York. She is a doctor, and he is just under the instruction of Indra Swami, dedicating his life to preaching, actually, and doing beautiful Leela Kirtan, which we hope to see more and more at Bhakti Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. Some months ago, we were traveling, and Champak wrote and asked me if I would give a talk today for Bhagavata Sravana. And when Champak asks me that question, the follow-up question is always, what will your topic be? If we agree, then it's always, what will the topic be? So when Champak asked me, I always check my calendar to see what availability I have. And what I saw in my calendar for the date was Ganga Puja. And so that was the topic that we selected. So today is Ganga Puja. This is the day when Mother Ganga is honored in India and further afield. So we'll talk about Mother Ganga. And then we will also think about how this sacred river, what lessons she has for us, and the mercy that's available to us. We live here in New York City. We have the Atlantic, and we have the Hudson, and the East River. And Yaruna's facial expressions. They don't convey a lot of love for the East River, is it? Or the Hudson, or which, or both?
Equally polluted.
I think there's a Harlem River as well, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have rivers here as well. Not quite the Ganga, from Yarunath's expression. What mercy is available to us here in New York City? So that'll be part of our reflection as we discuss the descent of the sacred river Ganga. This is based on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 9, verses 1 through to 14. So this is Bhagavata Sravana. It's a weekly gathering to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. And so our focus for today's discussion is this 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, which describes genealogies of kings, two great lines of kings are described in the 9th canto. One descent from the sun and the other from the moon. One in which Krishna appears, the other in which, one in which Ram appears, the solar line, and then a lunar line in which Krishna appears. Basically, your structure or framework for the 9th canto is that it is a book of two halves. The first half describes the line of kings from the sun. It's basically Ramayana. The second half describes the line of kings from the moon, and it's basically your Mahabharata. That's the 9th canto in summary, in a nutshell. So when describing the line of kings from the sun, then we have this story of the descent of Mother Ganga. There is an incident that takes place, and then there is this need, this urgency that Mother Ganga must come to earth. So we will explore that in our discussion together. I was just in Rishikesh in March for most of that month. I think I might have been there when Champak wrote to me. That would also have influenced my decision at the time. What will you speak on? I looked at my calendar, but I also looked out my window and saw Mother Ganga flowing past our window. We were there with Barbani and Madhava. Gopi joined us for some days as well. We were sharing kirtan there at the Rishikesh Kirtan Festival. Who's been to Rishikesh? Yeah, most hands have gone up here. So it's a very powerful, holy place. Haridwar, which is just down from Rishikesh, is described in the Bhagavatam. Different personalities go and do devotional service in Haridwar. Ajamila goes and performs bhakti in Haridwar after his near-death experience, seeing the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas, and he becomes introspective and he says, I need to get my bhakti back on track. And he goes to Haridwar and practices bhakti yoga there. In the 3rd canto, there's a meeting between Uddhava and Vidura, who takes place at Haridwar. And there's a conversation. The 3rd and 4th cantos are discussed between Maitreya and Vidura, and it's happening at Haridwar. So just down from Rishikesh. And the Ganges is very prominent, even as a deity in these places. You can see in the image there, she's a deep emerald green color, and just her presence is very strong. She's deep. She moves quickly through the rock riverbed, and yeah, her presence is very much felt. And I mentioned she's a deity there, and in fact, each evening, one of the great events that brings everyone out of their homes or ashrams or in Rishikesh each evening is Ganga Puja, where there is arti performed, waving lamps and other auspicious items to the river, Mother Ganges. So why is she so sacred? Why is she so holy to be revered as a deity and offered puja? Why is she considered divine, holy, addressed as Ganga Ma, Mother Ganga? Of course, she flows through the subcontinent of India, and she brings her waters that nourish the plains of the Indic Delta. But there's more to it than just that. So to really appreciate the descent of Mother Ganga, we also have to understand the story of her origin, or her appearance within this universe. And the Bhagavatam tells two two stories that relate to the same incident, and it involves one of Krishna's incarnations. There's the famous list of 10 incarnations from a song written by Jayadev Goswami, but of course the Bhagavatam gives other much longer lists. The first canto has a list of 28 incarnations and tells us that these are just the highlights, that the incarnations are many, like the waves in the ocean, and that Krishna is the source of them all. So one of these incarnations is Vamana, who then transforms into Trivikrama. It's a lovely story where the demigods have lost rulership of the heavens, and the demigods, they rule the universe. There's the demigod in charge of rain and in charge of the sun and the moon and so on, and they're all ruling as agents of Vishnu, of Krishna. But basically they lost control. They lost their rulership of these different important elements of the universal functioning, and they were taken over by demons, those who were averse to Vishnu. And so this is a great tragedy, when the people in charge of the universal administration lose control and it gets taken over by those with nefarious intention or motive, that not benign but malefic. And so the demigods, they appeal to Vishnu, to Krishna, for an intervention, that he'll help them get back the rule of the universe, that they can rule under his, as his representatives, under his guidance and in alignment with Dharma. So that's a basic principle in the Veda, that the universe functions according to universal laws, and these are the laws of Dharma. And when we align with that universal law, then we also experience harmony, aligned with the Dharma, which is the natural law given by the Creator, given by Vishnu, given by Krishna. And so the universe was out of kilt with the demigods losing that position. So they appeal to Vishnu, and what he does is he goes to the king of the demons. His name was Bali. He was performing a sacrifice, and Vishnu went to him as a small boy, as a Brahmana boy, in fact a dwarf, just to really make a point that what I'm going to ask you for is not much. So Bali sees a Brahmin enter his sacrificial arena, and he says, "This is auspicious. A Brahmin has come while we're performing sacrifice. Small Brahmin boy, ask me for some boon, ask me for charity," because even Bali, even the demons, they understand some basic principles of doing good karma and getting good rewards. So ask me for a boon. And the boy says, "I just want 3 paces of land. Just 3 paces of land." And Bali laughs, the demon ruler, he laughs. Says, "Just 3 paces, I can give you a whole kingdom. I can give you a palace. I can give you a pretty princess to marry. Like, ask me something significant." And the boy says, "No, just 3 paces of land." And so Bali says, "Okay. You could get so much more, but if that's what you want, sure." And so he makes the gift. He gifts the deed by pouring water from his hands to the hands of the small Brahmin boy named Vamana, an incarnation of Vishnu. And once Vamana receives the gift, he grows. So it's a trick. He grows to a very, very gigantic size, And with 2 steps, he takes the universe. With his first step, he takes the bottom half of the universe, and then with his second step, and you see this beautiful pose here. Some of you are yogis, maybe you can lift your leg high to your, to your ears or something. This is the Trivikram pose. Yoga practitioners or dancers, maybe you can get your leg high. So this is Trivikram. Vamanadeva is the instigator of this pose. With his first step, he takes the lower universe. With his second step, he takes the higher planetary systems. And he covers the entire universe with 2 steps. Most wonderful. Who can do that? Who can cover the entire universe in just 2 steps? Oops. Only Vishnu can do that. I think it'll come back. Just re-syncing. And then, to add insult to injury here, Trivikram turns to Bali and says, "You promised me 3 steps. Where do I put my 3rd step? You promised me 3, but there's nothing left." And so Bali does something wonderful. Even though he's the king of the demons, he says, "Here, you take your 3rd step on my head. I surrender myself to you. You have taken all my property, and now I offer you myself." So yeah, what kind of demon is this? He's actually the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. He's born in the family of demons, he rules the demons, he acts out the demon plans, but in fact he shows himself in this moment that deep in his core he is a bhakta. And he is the exemplar from the 9 practices of bhakti. Those of you familiar with Navanga Bhakti, or the 9 practices, which of them is exemplified by Bali? Atmanivedanam, yeah. So the 9th is full surrender. We start with Shravanam, hearing, we have Kirtan, chanting, we have Smaran, remembering, we have Vandanam, praying, and the final is full surrender. And the exemplar for that full surrender is Bali. He gave his property, he gave his entire self as an offering. And although Vishnu took his property and gave it to the demigods to administer again on his behalf, his heart was with Bali. "You have surrendered to me, and now you have captured my heart. My heart is with you. So Bali, ask me anything. I will stay with you. I will be your protector. I will be your gatekeeper." And so that's something wonderful, that although Trivikram appeared to punish Bali, he in fact, their relationship became very close and very intimate. And Prahlad appeared and said, "You have blessed my family again and again. For the demigods, you're giving them material opulence. But for my family, you are punishing us and you are purifying us and you are lifting us up. Even though you appear to be pushing us down, you're actually lifting us up. And that's your great blessing to us." So, what does this have to do with the Ganges? Anyone?
I think it's in that 3rd step where he breaks some surface and then Ganga descends.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. So when he takes his 2nd step and he takes the upper half of the universe, his Vamana Trivikram, he becomes called, after Vamana, after he grows, he's called Trivikram, the one who takes the 3 steps. I think we have Trini Tada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopatada Vyaha. So that's describing Vishnu. He takes with 3 steps, he takes 2 steps, he takes the universe. So yeah, when he takes his second step to take the upper half of the universe, his toe pierces the covering of the universe. So according to the Vedic description of the universe, there is a universal egg shell, so to speak. It has layers, 8 layers: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. And Vishnu pierced through those layers, and what's on the other side is a celestial ocean called the Karana Ocean, where another Vishnu sleeps. But that's another story. And so that sacred water came through the coverings of the universe and entered our universe. So that's one story. There's something else that happened, also described in the Bhagavata. And the hint is on the screen. I have 2 pictures because each illustrates a different aspect. Sometimes when you see this story depicted, you'll see Trivikram with his leg high above his head. Those of you who do yoga or dance and you're able to do that now, you'll always think of Trivikram when you take that pose. So there's one benefit to being in our discussion today. When he did this, when his toe pierced through the coverings of the universe, someone became very excited. Like, bravo! That's amazing! And so when you see this picture, when you see this pastime illustrated, sometimes you'll see Brahma by the toe, by the foot. And there he is on his lotus there, on the end of Vishnu's foot, on your left image. Sometimes you'll see, I've seen like this depicted in different ways. Brahma gets very excited and he wants to do some seva. He wants to celebrate this amazing deed that only Vishnu could do. And he takes his Brahminical water pot, his kamandalu, and he bathes the foot of Vishnu. He does an abhishek. And so that bathing of the foot of Vishnu is also said to be the origin of the Ganges. So which one's true? When you read different passages of the Vedic literature, some say he pierced the coverings, some say Brahma performed an abhishek, and I say both. Coverings were pierced, Brahma did an abhishek, and Ganges water flowed into the heavens. Into the heavens, but not yet to earth. How she comes to earth is another story. And it involves these kings in the solar line in which Sri Ramachandra appears. There was a king named Sagara. Jai Shri Shri Radha Muridhara Ki Jai. There was a king named Sagara who performed great sacrifices. He was the king of Ayodhya, which is the same city. It's been in the news recently. They recently built a temple there. The temple was opened earlier this year. Ram Janmabhoomi. Very topical. So Sagara, he ruled that city in which later Ramachandra appears. And he was performing sacrifices that was so great that, this is a common story in the Bhagavatam and Mahabharata. When someone does great sacrifice or austerity, somebody gets jealous. Indra, right? Indra starts getting nervous. This person wants to take my position. Sometimes we might have a little bit of that as well. Someone does great service and we think, that person might have burnt kirtan than me. That person dressed the deities better than me. That person cooked better shadow than me. That's there. It's our conditioning. So it's nice that we're appreciating someone else is doing service. We need to transmute that envy into inspiration. We get inspired. Wow, that devotee is doing such great service. I'm going to learn from them, and I'm going to support them. So Indra, he has this tendency to become a bit envious when someone does great sacrifice, great austerity. And so when Sagara was performing great sacrifice, Indra, he went to disrupt it. And he stole. So this was ancient times. They would have a type of sacrifice that's forbidden in our time. It's called Ashvamedha. They would sacrifice a horse that would then be transformed into a celestial being as part of the sacrifice. Brahmins are not so powerful today to be able to perform that magical transformational sacrifice, and therefore it is forbidden in our time. And in that time it was a sacrifice that great kings would perform with very qualified Brahmins. It took a lot of resources and great discipline to be able to perform this sacrifice. And Sagara had done many, and Indra became jealous and decided to steal the horse that was to be sacrificed. And so Sagara's sons went out to find that horse and bring it back. And Indra fled when Sagara's sons came behind them. And he left the horse in the ashram of a great sage, a very powerful sage named Kapila, who's also an incarnation of Krishna. And so when the boys came, the princes came looking for the horse, they saw someone in deep meditation with the horse behind them, and they thought, there he is, the thief, he's pretending to meditate. Jumping to conclusions. The thief, he saw that we're gaining on him, we're about to catch him, and so he sat here, he's pretending to meditate, pretending to be a sage. And so they went to arrest him, but this was in fact a real sage, in very deep trance. He had been in a deep trance for a long time, and he built up a lot of power, tejas. And so when they broke his meditation and he opened his eyes, there was such potency that they were burned to ashes. That's what you see illustrated here. A little macabre. And then another prince named Amsuman, he went looking for his uncles. And he came upon the ashram, and he came upon the remains of his uncles. And he approached that sage with great humility, with great respect, and he said, my uncles were here looking for the sacrificial horse. I see the horse, I see you, I see remains. Can you tell me what happened? What offense my uncles may have performed, and how they might be delivered? So Kapila, he was very moved, very touched by the humility and devotion of Amsuman. And and he wanted to help him, and he wanted to help Amsuman's uncles as well. He said, if you can bring the Ganges to this place, and if the Ganges river will flow over the remains of your uncles, they will be, all their sins will be cleared away, and they will be elevated to the higher realms. So that became Amsuman's mission. Not only he, but his son, Dilipa, performed great austerities to bring Mother Ganges to the earth, because she's flowing in the heavens, but she hasn't come to earth. Then there was Bhagirat. So a few generations after Amsuman, Bhagirat was, each of these kings, they rule, they sit on the throne for a period, and then they say, okay, I have to leave now, retire, I have a son ready to take over the rulership of the kingdom. I'm going to the Himalayas to perform austerities to bring Ganga to earth. And I believe it was 4 generations of kings who were engaged in this project of trying to appeal to Mother Ganga and have her agree to descend to earth. So finally it was Bhagirat who was able to induce her compassion, but not without some concern on her side. But yes, Bhagirat, he performed great austerity. She was pleased by his effort, his intention, and she appeared to him to ask what it was that he desired. But before we go there, I just thought we can reflect briefly. Austerity, what is it? What is its value? What is the significance of it? Does it play a role in our lives? Are we interested in austerity?
Yes.
Yes? Yes? In what way? Why?
I think that even in material life, when someone wants to achieve something great, they perform austerity. This might be a silly example, but when I was a ballet dancer, I literally stood on blocks of wood on my toes and trained for that. And your toes bleed actually when you do that. You have to like bandage them. And you train hours, and there was at one point I was dancing like 8 hours a day. You have to train if you want to do that professionally. Now that's something material, which of course can be spiritual, you do it for Krishna, but you understand what I mean. And that's just something so actually, in the scheme of things, insignificant of becoming a great dancer or becoming an Olympic athlete. What to speak of after millions and millions of lifetimes of attaining pure love for God. So spiritual life isn't something cheap. We're so distracted, our mind is so, running all over the place. Austerity is what we must do every single day. Prabhupada said this, the greatest austerity of chanting the holy names, but in Krishna consciousness, whatever helps us remember Krishna should be accepted, and whatever can make us forget Krishna should be rejected. So the austerity is to accept what is favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject what is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. Specifically the austerity of the 9 processes of devotional service and chanting and hearing, which when done properly, no longer seem like an austerity, they become actually joyful.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. So yeah, thank you, Champak, for these realizations on how any endeavor, greatness or achievement requires some austerity, including then not just in material life but also in spiritual life. And then there's something there about bhakti. Is it an austerity or is it a joyful practice? Yeah.
Well, I think that I think that it is a joyful practice, especially in Jupiter Swami. I mean, he's always preaching this, that it's so joyful, chant, dance, chant, dance. But I think that the greatest austerity actually in Krishna consciousness is the austerity of leaving our false ego at the door.
Right.
And like that actually being able to see, to say, I need to take my, it's not about me, it's about Krishna.
So there are some things that are not favorable to bhakti that we want to leave aside, and in the beginning, initially it might appear like some kind of austerity. For someone who is attached to meat eating, giving that up might appear austere, or intoxication, gambling, or there's the discipline. So chanting is joyful, but if you have it as a discipline, every morning I'm going to get up, I'm going to chant, there might be there's a joyfulness that comes, but in the beginning it might appear to be austere in the sense that there's a discipline there as well. You had a reflection?
Yes, very Krishna. I was reflecting on the first question of Bhagavata's significance of his efforts, and what it reminds me is that you said he's the fourth in his generational lineage, that somebody before him has planted a seed,
Right.
and that it takes generations and it carries on, even
Right.
somebody just planting a seed.
Right.
So that I think it also resonates with us as we're
Right.
walking in paths, that somebody plants the seeds
Yeah.
of bhakti. For me, it was my dad and my mom, and
Right.
of course, and yeah, that's what it reminded me, that
Yeah.
that seed of bhakti that somebody plants in generation past
Right.
can have a side effect, ripple effect
Right.
in our efforts.
Yeah, thank you for that. So it seems also that the benefits of austerity is something that gets passed along. We do austerity for ourselves, but also to benefit others as well. All right. Any other reflection? Yes.
So austerity of speech, Bhagavata, that is like one important. And one very senior devotee said austerity can be correlated as self-discipline.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was very interesting thing to me, because he said austerity, what to portray becomes very difficult. So he shared with me that austerity should be equated to self-discipline.
Yeah,
So
good.
any field, as Mataji exactly pointed out, any field in discipline, like I am into law practice. So where so much austerity, so much reading, so much a lawyer one has to do just to get qualified to become a lawyer.
Right.
And if he doesn't do that, he doesn't become a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's straight and simple. So any field, any reflection, that self-discipline is key. It's my understanding.
Yeah, thank you for that. So that's a nice translation, or a nice way of thinking about austerity in practical terms as self-discipline, self-regulation. And to achieve anything in life, materially and spiritually, requires some self-discipline. Thanks. Julie?
I was just reflecting on how the first sound that Lord Brahma heard was tapa, tapa,
Yeah,
tapa.
right. Very good, yeah. So when Brahma was trying to understand who he was, where he was, what he should be doing, and he tried by his own empirical analysis to understand the answers to this question, climbing down the lotus stem, climbing up the lotus stem, then he heard these two syllables, ta and pa, means austerity, and he understood, I have to sit and meditate, and rather than trying to understand by going out, I have to go within, and there will be a revelation, which is what happened for him. Thank you. Also, we talk about thank you, Rukmini.
I was just thinking, austerity, it seems to have a lot to do with someone's taste.
Mm,
You know, like a swimmer who has aspirations for Olympic medal
right,
might get up at, 3, 4 in the morning and swim for hours before doing their academic studies at the university in order to, so it seems like austerity has to do with what the desire in our heart is,
right,
how we perceive it. Like chanting japa might seem very dry for someone who has no taste.
right,
And it's actually seeing Krishna face to face with the sweetness of one name
right.
for
Yeah.
someone who has taste.
Right.
It's very
Thank you for that.
subjective.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, a very subtle, a more nuanced sense of what austerity is, and that's understanding our own personality and inclination and proclivity, and so what is austere for me it also relates to my nature and my level of spiritual realization as well. Thank you. Vasudev, and we will take Vasudev and one more, and then we will continue. So Vasudev and then Chitra, and then we'll continue. Yes?
Another translation of the word tapa is desire,
Aha.
will.
Okay.
Sometimes we hear in the Bhagavata, even Krishna says that austerity is his heart,
Yes.
and by tapa is his heart, and by tapa he creates
Okay.
the universe, by tapa he maintains it.
Lovely.
But it's not that he's doing austerity, it's just
Right.
his will,
Okay.
and the power of his will.
Yes.
And when you translate that to the performance of austerity,
Yeah.
it's so much. External austerity has no use actually.
Okay.
It's the intention
Right.
and the will by which something is done,
Right.
and that manifests in austerity, in the
Right.
practice of austerity,
Yeah.
and that gives a certain.
Right. So there's a sankalpa that should be said, or what is my intention here in this austerity? Why am I doing this? Is very, very important. That goes towards the manifestation of the desire. Thank you for this. Yeah, so wonderful. Thanks for that, Vasudev. So the activity has to be combined with a will or an intention, and it's that combination which then gives some special blessing or fruit. Thank you. Chitra?
Yeah, Prahlad, when Prahlad Maharaj took over from devotional service after breaking the code of the king who was demon, how come his grandson, found the path in Hinduism, but deep within the core of his heart, he was still a Bhakta?
No.
How did this artificial imposition of Hinduism come on them?
Right.
How did that happen?
Yeah, okay. So, a question about Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, Bali, how he becomes a demon. And then there's another great-grandson, Vana, who's also. So, it's their society. It's the society, the family, what's around them that has a strong influence also on our decisions and choices and expectations as well. And so they have an influence on our psychology. So having parents as a devotee is not a guarantee. We also have free will, choices that we make for ourselves. Krishna doesn't impose his love, and bhakti is not necessarily something that's carried through in the DNA. It's in the heart. But you can see that, yeah, for Bali, it came out in the moment, in that crucial moment, in his bhakti manifest, also remembering his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, but it's not a guarantee. And in their situation, it's the greater the greater social environment for them was very materialistic. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so Ganga. She has two doubts as to why she will not come to earth. One is that when she makes her descent, she will come with such power, with such force from the heavens that she will basically knock the earth out of its orbit. So she tells us to Bhagavata, what are we going to do about this? Like, you have done your austerity, I'm pleased with you, I'm happy to come and help you to deliver your ancestors, but when I touch the earth, I'm going to come with such force that I don't know that the earth will be able to withstand it. That's her one doubt. Her other doubt is, you're asking me to come to earth. I know that people on earth perform all kinds of sinful activities, and then they're going to say, Mother Ganga's here, the celestial river that has come from the toe of Vishnu. I'll just go and bathe in the Ganges and free myself of sins and cast them into the Ganga, and then I'll have to carry the burden of the sin of the people of earth. And so that was her other doubt. Like, what am I going to do? How will I carry all of this negative karma? And so she put this to Bhagirath. I'm willing to come, but I have these two doubts. We need some kind of resolution for this problem, for these problems. And so Bhagirath has two solutions. Who can say what they are? For the force, Lord Shiva will receive her when she arrives on earth. Lord Shiva will be there to receive her force on his head. And there's a great story, not here in the Bhagavatam, but elsewhere, where Ganga thinks to herself, I'm actually going to knock Shiva from his position. I'm coming with such force, I'm coming with such power, I'm going to knock Shiva over. And he understood, that's what she's thinking. And so he captured her in his hair, and he held her there. And then Bhagirath, he had to pray all over again, do more austerity, Lord Shiva, Mahadev. First he had to go to Shiva and say, please receive Ganga. And then now that she's actually arrived on, or nearly arrived on earth, there's this issue, so he has to pray to Shiva to release her. And often when you see Lord Shiva depicted, you'll see a sprout or a spring of water coming from his hair, representing this idea of him receiving the Ganges and then releasing the Ganges to the earth. So that was his solution for the force of the Ganga as she makes her descent on earth. The other problem was about the sin. What will I do with all the sins of people who bathe in me? And Bhagirath had a most wonderful solution. Sadhava yasina shanta brahmishta loka bhavana haratyagham tenka sangat teshvaste yagabid dhari. The peaceful devotees without material attachments, fixed in Krishna, in the Lord, who are purifiers of the world, will remove the sin from your water by bathing in it. The Lord, the destroyer of sin, will destroy the sins that they accumulate. So this is a most wonderful solution. People go to the Ganga to be purified, and here Ganga accepts, this is a good solution. Thank you, you resolved my doubt. Sadhus will come, they will bathe in me, and I will be purified by contact with sadhus. The general people go to Ganga to be purified, and for me, it will be the association of sadhus that bring me purification. So there's some hint here for us to contemplate as well. Some important hint. We're interested in going to the Ganga, but Ganga is interested in association with sadhus. There's something there for us to think about. So once these doubts were resolved, Bhagirath, he led Ganga from the Himalayas down through what we call today the Gangic plain, to the ashram of Kapila. Kapila Muni ashram, you can visit it even to this day. It is at the, what is it called? It's in the Bay of Bengal. That is called Gangasagara, where the Ganges meets the ocean. There is the ashram of Kapila, and so Bhagirath, he led the Ganges to that place, to that ashram. Ganges, she washed over the ashes, the remains of Bhagirath's ancestors. They were all elevated to higher realms. To this day, people, they also take the ashes of their departed loved ones to scatter them within the Ganges. I had the privilege of also placing my grandparents' ashes into the Ganga. That was, I felt for them great fortune, because they were not Vaishnavas, but their son, my father, as a Vaishnava, had desired this, and so it was agreed by the family that their remains could be brought to the Ganges. So in Mayapur, I placed their remains into the Ganga. So that is a tradition that is still there to this day. But for us, so yeah, we can also take advantage of that, but I think there's something more that we can take advantage of, and that is to think about this, how we relate to Ganga, how we can access Ganga's blessings and grace even in distant New York City. And I think, yeah, any thoughts, reflections? Yes?
Well, that picture of Radhanath Swami sitting on that rock, that's the rock from the journey home.
Yeah.
Where he was sitting in meditation in his first time in India as a seeker, and he had never heard the Maha Mantra before. And for those of you who've read the book know that it was actually Mother Ganges that revealed the Maha Mantra to him. He heard the Maha Mantra coming from Mother Ganges, and he started chanting that mantra at that time, and then later, of course, met Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, that's such an amazing story. Thank you. Vasudev Prabhu?
There's a little iron pot sitting on that table right there.
Oh, yeah?
In it is called what is called Charanamrita.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Bathing water,
Yeah.
bathing the deities.
Right.
With mantras involved. All the holy rivers are involved, including the Ganga.
Right. Yeah.
And then the deities are bathed
Right.
over Krishna's lotus feet, just like the Ganga.
Yeah.
And when they take that, it's purified. So
Yeah.
usually nobody ever takes it. It's not very much part
Okay.
of our culture.
Right.
I recommend everybody to
Thank you.
take some.
Thank you, Vasudev. So our head pujari, our head priest, is reminding us that we also have access to Ganga here in New York City in the temple room, in the Bhakti Center. Because each day, Radha Murlidhara are bathed with water from a conch shell, as Brahma bathed the toe of Trivikrama. When his toe pierced the covering of the universe, the pujaris each day bathe the lotus feet of Radha Murlidhara, Radha and Krishna here in the temple. And that water is collected and it's kept in this little pot. A little tiny pot there. On the, there we are, Yadunath showing it to us. And there's a little spoon in the pot. And you take a drop of that water from the spoon into your palm and you sip that water, and Vasudev said, you have the Ganges here in New York City. Thank you for that, Vasudev. Wonderful. Any other thoughts? Yes?
I've been told that all water is related to Ganga, so even like if we see the Hudson, we can remember the Ganga.
Okay, that's a meditation that you can hold. Ganges is flowing into the Bay of Bengal at Ganga Sagara, and it links up to the Atlantic Ocean at some point, and there might be like a micro droplet of Ganges here in the Hudson, but as a meditation, yeah, that's nice. You can remember Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, and that sacred water, even as you see other bodies of water. Yes?
Bhagavata also mentions the equivalent with the fund association with the sincere devotee is purifying like the Ganges.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. So this idea that the devotee carries the holy place in their heart, it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, that the devotee is a holy place personified. because they carry Vishnu, they carry Krishna. Krishna is in the hearts of all living beings, but the devotee very purposefully invites Krishna, and Krishna very purposefully resides in the heart of his devotee. He tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, I enter their heart with the shining lamp of knowledge and destroy all ignorance, all nescience. And so the devotee carries Krishna in the heart, and so the devotee's association is available to us. Even where the Ganges may not flow, the devotee is available to us. And Ganga herself is being purified. There's association between the devotee and Ganga. Ganga herself is being purified by devotees. And there are verses in the Bhagavatam which says that neophyte spiritualists, they go to the holy place just to bathe in the holy water and be washed away of sin. But more mature spiritualists go to find the devotees who reside in those holy places to hear from them and to have their association and an awakened pure love for Krishna and transform the heart. So there we are. We conclude with some small points. Ganga's descent is a powerful story of humility and respect. There's austerity. Ganga can purify the departed soul of sin. She finds shelter from her bathers' accumulated sin in the association of devotees, and we too should value devotee association in New York City. We have this wonderful community here at the Bhakti Center. This is our Ganga. We have Charanamrita, and we have a meditation on Ganga when we see rivers and so on, but then we have the flow of the Ganges of this wonderful community of Vaishnavas, and that's our Ganga that's available to us, and we might overlook that sometimes and take it for granted, but really this association with the devotees is the most powerful Ganga that can transform our hearts. We conclude for the arti of Bhagavata.
Now we will have arti of Shishirad Murad Gaurachandra. Please come forward. We'll move the mat to the side and sing and dance for the pleasure of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Saraswati Devi Gaurava
Hare
Shri Shri Abai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki. Guru Shri Sanatana Thakur Raghunath Shri Ji Gopal Bhaktivedanta Raghunath Swami Prabhupada Ki. Prince Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shalosandra Thakur Giri Govardhan Ki. Ganga Devi Ki. Ganga Devi Ki. Shakti Devi Ki. Shri Maharaj Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Jai Gaur Premanand Ki. Glory to the Son of devotees. Glory to the Son of devotees. Glory to the Son of devotees. Glory to Shri Shri Guru Brahma. Glory to Shri Guru Brahma.
We're so grateful to see you both today. you don't know them, please just shower them with love. Thank you so much again to Shri Prahlad for being here. And Mother Rukmini for being here. And you do not know Mother Rukmini, please get to know her. She is an ocean of devotion. And we have two announcements. We have a fundraiser tonight, a Bhakti Center fundraiser, Garden of Gratitude. It is at 6 p.m. at Joseph Carini Carpets. We have it there every year, which is 335 Greenwich Street. If you need this information, it is posted on the temple WhatsApp and also on the temple newsletter. But if you don't have that, you can come see me afterwards. I can give it to you because you do need to RSVP. There's a link to RSVP. And actually, Rukmini Devi is going to be sharing some wisdom and words with us at this program, as well as very special drama on gratitude and a stand-up comedy by Yadanatha. So, if you haven't seen Yadanatha's comedy, you must come for that. And yes, and then also we have an amazing team of volunteers who run this program every week. And we're a little short-staffed today, so if anyone is available to help the team who is serving prashadam with cleanup after you take prashadam, please volunteer your service. They will appreciate it very much. We have a beautiful lunch prashadam feast served for you in the back. Please stay, leave a donation if you can, and know this is your spiritual family, so associate with each other. Because that is the same potency and even more than Mother.
Thank you. It was so wonderful.
Put that t-shirt today.
I know.
On Father's Day. Is that a gift from you?
Did you get it? I think so. What are you doing?
You got your daughter here?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm learning what it's like.